So, wine number three. I've been trying to find a wine from this vineyard. And I'll explain that in a second. For a couple of years, almost probably from month one. Bechthold Vineyard in Lodi is is really one of the more famed vineyard sites, not just in California, but anywhere. It is lots of old vines grow in that region. Many of them planted by immigrants, Italian immigrants, back in from the 1800s, early 1900s. The Cinsault, Cinsault or Aut, depending on the spelling, which is indigenous to south of France. The vineyards there, the vines there are 135, 140 years old. The oldest known living Cinsault vines in the world, and it makes this really beautiful, medium-bodied, not highly acidic, softer but still very pleasing and with great berry taste red wine. It is such a sought-after piece of land that there's a waiting list from wineries who want to source grapes from Bechthold, owned by a family actually, and I mean, it's almost like a who's who. Turley gets grapes from this region. Excuse me, from this vineyard. Randall Graham from Bonnie Doon did for years. Guys that work for him, offshoot company. Birachino get grapes from him. Uh, Again, some of the more famed winemakers, especially experimental ones out in California, have been on the mailing list, if you will, or on the grape list for this Cinsault. And it's something that I try to get every year from somebody. Not always easy because it is a small vineyard, and then those that get their allotment, their portion of grapes, don't make all that much. Two Shepherds is a really interesting winery. James Allen was a wine blogger, and at Garagiste started making wine on his own. I think his first year he started as Two Shepherds. It was 2010 or 2011, he made 175 cases. He only makes about 3,500 cases of wine now, and he does that with his partner Karen Dannon, and she's a head of consumer research for one of the big wine companies, and she's involved in the winemaking process as well with him. They source grapes from really cool old vineyard sites. They're doing a series of whites and reds, as well as some skin contact, some sparkling, great can series. So I've been familiar with them, tasted some of their stuff, and then back at Raw, which is the Natural Wine Fair back in March, it was in Brooklyn. Club member Valerie and I went and actually tasted through, his portfolio. Interesting guy. And the wines really, one by one, were all spectacular. Also makes a small production Pinot Meunier. I think it's about 225 cases only, which I may try to put out there as a special offer for you all before the month is over. This Two Shepherds Cinsault. Well, the problem was actually at the time was he was changing wholesalers, working with one small wholesaler, and decided to move his portfolio and didn't know where it was going to land. I got an email first week of July that it was landing with a new wholesaler, and I spoke to them and I said, how many cases do you have of the Cinsault? And they said we have 14 cases. So of course I grabbed our allocation. I did speak to him again this week to see what was left, and there's really one case left in reserve that probably is going to go. The Pinot Meunier, they were only given 9 cases, and even that, I think they only have 3 left. So he's holding on to some of that for me. I'll try to put together a special offer to see if you are interested, but it was pretty spectacular. So I was happy to be able to get them and grab them, that same morning, because again, by the afternoon, most of the wines were accounted for. Really, really well-made wines. Again, garagiste meaning he's a kind of a garage maker. He's doing it in a crush facility in Windsor, California, and again up to about 32 to 3,500 cases. It's the kind of wine that if you do see it, you're not going to see it everywhere. And if you do see it, you're not going to see it there for long. So I was happy to be able to get a wine from Two Shepherds and also get a wine from that really storied, historic vineyard site in Lodi, the Bechthold Vineyard Cinsault. So I hope you like it as much as I do. And again, I tasted this back. We tasted this back in March, and I think it's going to be a really nice. Again, nice summer red. Not too heavy, but also not something that's going to just disappear there. So enjoy it. And there we are for our three wines. Thank you.